Hi, you're on the Retelling Films channel, and this is a retelling of the movie Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. A little girl growing up in the post-apocalyptic deserts becomes a slave to the leader of a motorcycle gang. She dreams of becoming a better warrior to avenge her mother's killer. The movie begins with a view of a post-apocalyptic desert. A little girl, Furiosa, lives in a green fertile area where food and water are not contaminated by radiation. While picking fruit with a friend, she notices bikers sharing their loot in the forest. The raiders take the girl with them as proof of the existence of a clean and uncontaminated land where children are born without mutations. A friend tells Mary, Furiosa's mother, what has happened. She gets on her motorcycle and goes in pursuit. Furiosa, meanwhile, chews the fuel hose with her teeth. The chase continues until dark due to a bitten hose running out of fuel, forcing the kidnappers to make a halt. In the morning, Mary catches up with the kidnappers. She climbs to the top of a barcan to take aim and notices a biker camp where her daughter is being taken. The kidnapper wants to take the loot to the leader Dementus, but Furiosa causes an accident, injuring the raider. The girl is brought to Dementus, who wonders where the fertile land is where she comes from. Furiosa is silent, but the leader realizes that he can find the way by following her footsteps. Mary, disguised in the clothes of a dead raider, sneaks into the camp under the cover of a sandstorm. She kills the guards, sparing only the woman assigned to her daughter. However, no sooner do the fugitives escape than a surviving woman raises the alarm. Dementus sets off in pursuit of the living map into the fertile lands. After reaching a narrow passage between the rocks, Mary gives her daughter a peach pit and orders her daughter to ride her motorcycle home, while she remains in the gorge to fight her pursuers. Bikers grab a woman, which Furiosa notices. The girl, disobeying the instruction, runs to the bandits who have tied her mother to dry trees. On Dementus' orders, they execute the woman right in front of her weeping daughter. After a while, a biker horde traps another gang. Dementus invites the survivors to join him, but there are only 5 available spots, the number of bikes needed to execute the rival leader. The bandits fight each other, then tear apart the bound boss. All of this takes place before the eyes of the captive Furiosa. At night, she steals ink and a needle from the guard introduced to her and tattoos a star map on her arm to return home. During another raid, the raiders notice a red flash in the sky. A pale young man summons the flash and tells them about a citadel with water and plants. Deciding that this is where Furiosa lived, Dementus sends the horde there. But on the spot, it turns out that the citadel, fortified in the rocks, is Immortal Joe's fortress. Having lured the horde, Joe's army attacks the bikers from the heights. With cranes, they take away the motorcycles as well as the cage that Furiosa is in. Dementus personally enters the battle for her, recaptures a live map, but is forced to retreat at the end of the battle, suffering serious losses. However, he does not intend to give up so easily. The horde finds Gastown, an oil refinery that produces fuel. Dementus sets a trap for the Citadel's convoy by intercepting a fuel truck, but fuel is not enough for him. The leader tells his subordinates to strip and smear themselves with white clay to look like Joe warriors. In disguise, they drive the gasoline truck back to the factory, pretending that the bikers were attacking the convoy. Hiding in the gas tanker, the bikers open the gate and let the horde in to take over the oil refinery. The horde sends Immortal Joe a message, a severed finger. Then Dementus himself, with his gang and the captured mayor, drops in for an audience with them. After killing the former ruler during a tense discussion, the biker leader offers a deal. To prevent his men from destroying the fuel plant, he will become ruler and trade with the Citadel. To seal the deal, Joe demands a young Furiosa, a girl without mutations who will be able to bear healthy children in the future. Eventually, the parties reach a compromise, and the girl is taken to the vault where Joe's concubines live. She escapes to a room where she pulls a peach pit, a gift from her mother, out of her hair. Time passes. Furiosa, with a short haircut, hides among the inhabitants of the Citadel, pretending to be a mute boy. Her fearlessness and dexterity, thanks to which the mechanics saved the car, allows the girl to get a promotion in the local hierarchy. As the years go by, Immortal Joe builds a truck to transport important cargo, a combat truck. The girl plans an escape during the first trip of the truck, hiding food supplies and a motorcycle under the bottom of the truck. Soon, the truck is sent as part of a convoy to the first route. The experienced driver Jack is behind the wheel, and Immortal Joe's soldiers provide security. In the middle of the desert, a squad of bikers from the Porcupine Gang prepare a trap, raising a field curtain. Joe's soldiers prepare for defense. Joe's soldiers hurl explosive spears at the attackers, but they return the favor, thus motivating the paratroopers to drop the hot mixture from on high. When the motorcycle of one of the assailants is dragged under the wheels of a truck, Furiosa, hanging under the bottom, nearly loses her own hidden motorcycle. She tries to save her bike, but in the meantime, the truck's fuel hose is damaged. Realizing that there are no options, Furiosa crawls to the engine to fixing the hose. Porcupines climb on the tanker, killing Joe's soldiers little by little. Furiosa fixes the cooling valve, catching Jack's eye. Realizing there are no other allies left, the two of them fight off the bandits. The attackers launch a hang glider with bombs. Furiosa shoots down the pilot, but an airship also comes in from the rear. While the gunner is reloading, the girl gets to the control panel, turning on the tail thresher, destroying the airship and with it the pilot. Appreciating her fighting skills, he offers to be his partner. Soon, Furiosa is with him, performing transportation for Immortal Joe. After a visit to the lead factory, Jack gives her a sawed-off shotgun and tells her that she is now free to go wherever she wants to go. On the way back, they stop by Gastown, where Dementus rules. It turns out that his power is shaken. He can neither suppress a hunger riot nor pay for food with fuel. Returning to the Citadel without food or fuel, the couriers report the situation. Realizing that this is not a good thing, Joe sends a wagon to the lead factory to get ammunition for the upcoming battle. The convoy makes it to the lead factory, but upon entering, the guards are interrupted, ambushed by gunmen. Only Furiosa manages to back up before the Great blocks the exit. Jack climbs out of the cab, killing the Dementus shooters in the process. Jack fires a green flare upward, giving the command to return to base, and drives forward himself, realizing the truck's mass advantage on the narrow road as it slowly makes its way down the quarry. But Furiosa disobeys his partner's orders. Taking a sniper rifle, she takes up a position and fires at enemies, ready to blow up the truck with a rocket-propelled grenade launcher. Among the enemies on the chimney is the nemesis, Dementus. Jack rams a truck into the base of the chimney, which leads to the destruction of the factory. Unfortunately, the truck is also pushed into the hole, but the motorcycle partner shows up in time to save driver. Hanging over the ruined furnace is Dementus, who is rescued with an excavator. Evil Dementus gives chase in a truck with huge wheels, with which he knocks out the grate. Taking advantage of the off-road advantage, the Bigfoot and motorcycles go over the mountain while the fugitives make a detour around it. They try to shoot back, but Jack is wounded and Furiosa's left arm is wedged between two autos and pushes their car into a ditch. Dementus decides to punish them in a showy manner. Furiosa is strung up on his wounded arm, and Jack is tied to a motorcycle to be dragged along the ground. Following, Dementus unleashes the dogs, and they torment the wounded driver as they go. After enjoying the torture in the raised dust, Dementus stops the execution, but instead of the captive girl, he notices only her hand. Like a beast of prey, she decided to get rid of the injured limb to avoid death. When she runs out of gas, she bleeds to death and wanders towards the Citadel. From afar, she is watched by a man named Mad Max. Upon reaching the Citadel, she appears before Immortal Joe to tell him what happened. Eager to punish and reclaim the settlement, Joe outfits an army of his own in the wastelands. Furiosa, in the Citadel, assembles a mechanized prosthetic, after which she cuts her hair short. She buys the mechanic's last remaining vehicle, a three-wheeled convertible, on which she sets off into the desert, where the war between Joe's army and a horde of bikers is raging. When Dementus wakes up, he sees that there is no water in the flask and that the front wheel has been stolen. He notices a figure on the Barkhan, but there are no bullets in the revolver either. Realizing that there is not much choice, Dementus falls on the sand and asks to finish everything quickly. The girl wonders if he remembers executing her mother, but in his years of power in a post-apocalyptic world, he's ordered so many to be killed that it would take a couple days to list the names. The narrator's voiceover says that no one knows exactly how Furiosa killed her nemesis. In fact, she took him to a secluded place in the Citadel, where she kept him alive so that a peach tree, planted from a seed given by her mother, would grow from within the prisoner, feeding on his flesh. Plucking the first fruit, she carries it to Immortal Joe's harem. From there, she takes concubines away to hide in the tank of a battle track and take them to the green distances. But that's another story called Mad Max Fury Road. What do you think about this movie? Write your thoughts about the movie in the comments. If you liked my short retelling, then put likes and subscribe that would not miss new videos. See you soon.